What's shaking, Chewy Nation? ChewbaccaLemma here, back with another Madden 19 Ultimate Team solo battle video where we're going to show you how to get over 26K with box scores, how to get that top 100 that maybe you haven't been able to reach, or maybe just some things that are kind of glitchy that can help your life just be way easier if you don't have a good team. You easily get ultimate and such. There's going to be some good stuff, some glitchy stuff in this video, so if you could like the video if it does help you out. We're going to shoot for 200 likes in this video if that's possible. I don't know, but thank you guys so much for the support. Let's go ahead and dive into it. First up, I don't want to overlook this. Again, we're going to go over everything in this video. There is some new stuff, some glitchy stuff that I want to talk about that will help you guys out, especially, well, it will help you get top 100, or if you just want to go for ultimate, it's also pretty glitchy there as well. But if you have a good team, of course, it's going to make your life a lot easier, especially a good O-line when you're running the ball. There's no doubt it helps. So I have a good O-line. It's going to make my life easier. I don't want to oversell that, or I don't want to overlook that because that is really, really important. So just think if you don't have a good O-line and you're struggling, that definitely could be it. There is ways to kind of get around that, and I'll talk about that when we get into the video, the gameplay, but that does help. Also, I'm going to be running the Wildcat, which I'll talk about when I get to my playbooks, but either have your running back run it, or if you have a fast guy, like a 99 speed Tyreek Hill, I got Hilton. He'll be my guy. I also have Dion I could run, wide receiver Dion. I'll just use Hilton for this video. Make sure he's in wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 spot. You can always change that in the depth chart as well when you get into the game. And then on defense, really fast guys are important. Whether you run the glitchy field goal block stuff, which we'll talk about, or you run mid blitz, fast, good man coverage guys are always good, especially in mid blitz. If you're running punt return, punt stuff, field goal stuff, which again, I'll talk about that. Speed, really important there. So that's up to you, but obviously we got a really good defense. And then on specialist, not specialist, team strategy, we're running the Vikings playbook, which I mentioned has Wildcat in it, which is why I run it. And then on defense, the only thing, don't run multiple D because it doesn't have mid blitz and nickel 2-4-5 formation. So that's something to think about when you're running your playbooks. It's not that big a deal, especially if you're not going to run mid blitz, but I do still run mid blitz. Whoops. So I want that in there, as well as running the other glitchy thing as well, which I've seen, I've discovered, and well, a lot of people it's been out there for a while. But anyway, top 100 last week. This is current week, which just started. So last week, I just want to show you I was 24th. The previous week, I believe I was 18th or 19th. Which, if we do the math, I don't know why I went that way. If we do the math, if we just take the coins, we're looking at over 500K. I believe 525 plus a few packs with 10 trophies, if you just take the coins from the touchdown in the red zone. So I think that's worth it for 13 games, even if they do take a half hour to 40 minutes. That's up to you if you think it's worth it. If nothing else, this might help you get ultimate rewards, which is 100K if you take the coins, plus 50, that's 150K plus 8 trophies. Is it worth 13 games if you taking 10 minutes a game? That's up to you. That's your call, but I'm going to give you everything you need to be able to get that top 100, or go ahead and go after the just ultimate. There's some good stuff for you guys as well. So solo battles just started. I don't want to choke on stream, like while I'm talking and trying to do, whoops, I meant to do that, while I'm doing it, and I feel like I'll end up only scoring like 25K on stream. So I do want to go ahead and I'm just going to go into one of these legend gauntlets, and we'll go into one of these gauntlet games. 93 overall, we'll go with them. This should be a good representation of what's happening in the solo battles, because we're facing a much better team, but I know the CPU's a little jacked up on solo battles, so this will be a nice way to demonstrate it. Also, there will be some box scores I show you as well towards the end of the video if you want to see how the stats that I accumulated show you exactly what that looks like. So maybe that's just more knowledge. Knowledge is power. But let's go ahead and dive into it and see if we can show off this offense and defense really well. All right, we're back here, and we're looking at it. It's in a gauntlet game. It doesn't really matter. It looks like we're going to start with the ball, I think. Is that us? Yeah, we will start with the ball. So we're going to give you the offensive strategy, which I have discussed in previous videos, but this one I will try to address if you don't have as good a team as well, how you can beat these, how you can run the ball on these good teams, because what we're looking for is about 200 yards rushing. Sometimes I try to get 300 plus, but rushing is definitely important. I don't think that's something to overlook. What you want to do is, if you have your wide receiver, you want to put your wide receiver in the Wildcat if you want him running the ball sometimes. What you're going to do is you're going to hit right stick over to wide receiver at quarterback. You're going to change the package. or wide receiver 2 at quarterback. If you don't have them in your right spot, you can go to your depth chart like right now and put whoever you want in your lineup at wide receiver 1. I'm going to go and take a timeout here. But also notice I went down about the 9. I don't usually like to go down too much farther back because I'm always afraid, sometimes they blow it up, especially when you run the ball and you can get a safety. Also, I run levels, which is pretty good. I'll put it as an audible just in case I've clicked the wrong play. But let's go ahead and first start with this. So I put wide receiver at quarterback, which for me is T.Y. Hilton. So there's a couple things here. If they have 4 down linemen like they have now, a lot of times what I like to do is I actually like to hand it off to the running back, and all you have to do is hold on A. If you don't have a good line, holding on A and giving it to your running back here is probably a better way to do it. Make sure you have your best running back in this spot. For me, Christian McCaffrey is great, so I'll keep him in there. So I'll hand it off and show you exactly how it works. It's a 93 overall team. I don't expect to break this for a touchdown, but we'll see what happens. So we'll go ahead and just hold A, hand it off. Look at that great blocking. That's why we love it. And then we'll go ahead and we probably should have went out of bounds there, but that's 15 yards. Of course, you're not going to score a touchdown against these great teams every single play, but we definitely are happy with 15. We'll go ahead and no huddle, and guess what? We'll do it again, and we'll just hope that they get the edge, and we do, and we'll go ahead and not juke them out in 8 yards. Again, I like to no huddle. You guys will get tired, but it is nice to not have that Excel clock working. If you feel like you're happy with your O-line, you can keep it and go like this, and we have T.Y. off to the races, and these guys are so fast, and that's probably a touchdown against most of the opponents, most of the solo battle opponents right there for T.Y. So that's pretty straightforward. If you don't have a good O-line, you probably want to hand it off most times. Again, just hold on A as he comes across it. You run still the quarterback power play. Don't switch it to the sweep. You still want to run power, but when they come across, you just hold on A. Same with option plays. And then when you're passing the ball, the most important thing here, I run levels. This is a good way to get completions. You could also streak this guy in the middle if you're trying to score fast, if you want to stay in levels. It's not necessarily the best one player, but like right now, it looks like he's gone, and we got a touchdown. Oops, I shouldn't have tossed it up. We didn't even get the touchdown. That was dumb. That guy was so gone. But that's an easy touchdown right there a lot of times. If they run some sort of cover 3 where you see that safety come down, you can also hit that touchdown. But really, a lot of times you're going to hit, so this guy right here, like when they come down like that, you can easily hit. If you got a good, fast wide receiver, hit him right up the seam for a touchdown. Now, that's not necessarily the best one-play touchdown. I'm not going to lie to you and say that is, but that's usually what I do. I just like to stay in levels, hit my running back if it's open. If I want to try to score fast, I'll just throw it up the seam. If you have a fast receiver, like even somebody like wide receiver Dion, who's pretty cheap, you can go that route. I should have went for 2 to show you that. I'll show you on my next touchdown. You really can get a 2-point conversion every single time. It's really simple. But let's go ahead and show you the defense. So we'll go ahead and kick it deep or onside kick it. A lot of people like onside kicking at this point because the defense is so glitchy. You don't really have much fear, but let's go ahead and kick it deep for now. All right, so they kneel it throughout the 25. Onside kick it if you want. But first, what you want to do is, so I like mid blitz, which is double A gap mid blitz. I still think it's really good. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you the glitchy. We're going to come out and field goal block right, or block one of those, and we're going to come out in this. So what we do is we come out in this, and you're going to notice they're going to audible here. Michael Vick audibles, and we're going to hit the left and then go over to punt safe man. I'll show you that in a minute. We definitely took a minute to call it there. And then it's going to look like this. So now we're in punt safe man. And what you'll notice is a lot of times they're going to just throw it right up to one of the guys, or they'll take a sack. Now, Michael Vick is very scary to go against. What you would like to have is all speed out here. So I was using Myles Garrett right there. So ideally, I get somebody with a little more speed. We'll just put Whitney Merciless. I don't even know if he's actually might be slower. But LT there if you got a fast linebacker. But anyway, so we did that, and watch, we came out in field goal block again, and we're going to audible. We're going to hit X, so they're going to change, and then we're going to go over to hit the left stick, punt safe man. Punt safe man, we'll just user the guy who's getting double teamed, because there's always somebody getting double teamed. We'll user him, and a lot of times what you'll notice is if you're facing Vic, he's going to run because he's Vic, and he will tend to do that sometimes. Or they'll always give this 4 verticals, or he'll just lob it up. The longer you wait, I've noticed, this is just from testing it, the longer you can wait to audible, the better. So if I wait here, let's see if I can time it. and now do it. Let's see if I timed it well enough. They'll more likely, if your guys don't get out there in time, I think I might have did it too soon, they're more likely to lob it up like that. And then, of course, I didn't get the interception. And it's an interception most of the time. So easy. That's exactly what most people in the top 25 are doing. I personally don't do it very often unless I need to get the ball back because I feel like my mid-blitz is just as good. But I'll go ahead and go backwards. I'll play this like a real solo battle. We'll go backwards here. But that's up to you if you want to run that consistently. As you do it more and more, you're going to notice that it's really, really good. And as you practice it more and more, as you audible, as you get the right personnel out there, get fast guys out there that are coverage, go into just a regular game like I am now, and just practice getting your substitutions down, and you're going to notice that it's how good it is. And then, this is basically what I do. Dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk, and then just keep doing it down the field. What we want to go for here when we're passing and running. Rushing, I like to get that as quickly as possible. 200, 300 yards rushing. I don't really think there's much better than 200, but usually I have plenty of extra time, so I'll go for 300. Passing, I've heard 500. I think 400 is fine. So even something like 200 rushing, 400 passing should get you a 26K score if you do everything else. So the everything else, 30 completions, 20 to 25 first downs. I'll say 25 just to be safe. And then defense, we want to allow as few yards as possible. If you're like, I'm not getting 26K, look at how many yards you're allowing. If you allow negative yards and you do everything else, you will have over 26K. I haven't seen a scenario where somebody has allowed negative yards. Now, I've seen a decent amount of box scores. Negative yards had the passing, had the rushing, completions, had everything, and had less than 26K. So I'm pretty sure all that, if you do that, you should be good. Now, if you wait until 20 seconds when you go out of bounds, the Excel clock will not kick in. I don't have Excel clock on right now, but that's also important to note. Unless you're in the last 2 minutes of the second or the fourth quarter, you want to wait until there's only 20 seconds left on the clock before you hike it. Remember, this is a 93 overall team versus my 95. It's not exactly the biggest mismatch, and you see how easy that is to throw it. Short side of the field is better in my opinion because even if they man it up, it doesn't get quite, you can actually fit it in that window quite easily. Obviously, don't throw it to a hard flat. You can pick it off. Just practice. You'll get that down. And you just keep dinking and dunking. You get those yards. And then if you're like, man, I need to score. I got to score fast. You can go ahead and burn them over the top. I usually like to streak and then fade the outside guy, and that should be enough. Right now, they did not. It was an open, so I go ahead and just hit it underneath. And then you just keep doing that. If you find an opportunity to hit deep, then go ahead and do that. If not, just dink and dunk. Excel clock's not on, so I'll just go ahead and hike it. We'll go ahead and score here. So again, streak. I like to fade just in case they're in cover 2, but really you don't necessarily need to do that. This is a cover 3, and you see it's going to be naked. I don't know if we'll get the touchdown. How is that not an accurate pass? I'm not sure on that one. Sometimes funky stuff happens, even when you have maybe the best quarterback in the game. This is cover 3 or cover 1. Sorry, it's probably cover 1 with a deep blue. So you could actually just streak Hopkins if you want, the middle guy, or you could just take your underneath because it is cover 1. Again, if you want, you could try to just do this as well. You don't necessarily have to only take the first downs. But remember, first downs, we're looking for about 25. So piling up those first downs is really nice. The best time to do that is in the last 2 minutes of the second and the fourth because the clock stops 100%, like it won't start running in those times. So get the yardage and the points outside of that time, and then when you're in that last 2 minutes, when you're in that fourth quarter, that's when you really want to stockpile first downs and completions and such. Try to stockpile everything else outside of that. But remember, even if you score like quickly in the last 2 minutes, you have now a glitch to basically get them to just throw you a pick. I don't know why I threw it deep there. Do you see how they played a hard flat? So we're just going to go ahead and see if we can hit Shannon Sharp there. But remember, we have a glitch now that basically will get us the ball back every single time. So even though there's 20 seconds left, say it was like a minute left, and you're like, man, I still need to get a lot of first downs. I still want to get. Remember, you can get the ball back pretty easily, pretty darn easily. Now, when you get into the fourth, the CPU does play a little bit differently for whatever reason. I should have onside kicked it there, just because you probably should, so you can get some more yards. But onside kick and then do your glitch. I'm focusing more on that because, one, I've never talked about it and 2, it's what everybody in the top is doing. I personally am not doing it, like, ever, but I won't deny that it is really good. I still like mid blitz because I think I get way more sacks, and I feel very confident in my mid blitz. But here we are, we're in field goal block, they'll audible, and if you can wait, the longer you can wait, the better. They're more likely to throw it up. So, there. Let's see if we timed it well enough. Let's see if they hike it. Oh, they took a while to hike it. Let's see if they throw it up. And you see, they throw it up. Easy pick. The longer you wait, and then this is perfect because now we can run backwards. So even though we didn't go for an onside kick, and guess what? More yards to come. Super, super easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and punt them the ball because you guys already know how the offense works. It's pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and punt the ball, punt it out. And anybody who claims that that was their defense, one, the waiting, I think everybody knows that, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows that, so I don't know who's going to claim that. And I don't know who was the first one to discover this, but it's been out for a while. So whoever did, I don't know who to give it credit to. But now let's go ahead and dive into the other defense. So say it's the fourth quarter and they're not audibling, or, they're no huddling or whatever, because they're not going to audible if they're no huddling. I'm going to come out in mid blitz. And sometimes I like to use her my middle linebacker, or sometimes I'll use her the safety here, depending on who they're matched up with. He's matched up with the running back. So this looks like it could be a run. We should be able to play the run quite well, even though we just missed. We whiffed. But what I really like about mid blitz is the run defense is really, really good. So you really don't, unless there's, solo battle sometimes can be glitchy, but you're really not going to give up those big plays in the run game unless something crazy happens. So what I like to do is I like to man these guys up. Sorry, they're already manned up. I like to bring them down, and then now I'm in charge. And if you hover like right in the middle, this is going to scream. Of course, they actually get that completion because the CPU can dot you up, and that's always the issue you're going to find. But I find that you're going to get so many more sacks. You're going to get so many sacks that them getting a completion like that is really not that big a deal. If you find that they'll keep dotting you up and you're like, man, this isn't working, then you may want to go ahead and they're actually just going to run the ball. No, they're not. Okay, I thought that was going to be a draw. If you feel like they're dotting you up, like, man, they just completed 2 passes, they got 14 yards, not really that big a deal. But if you do feel like that is the case, of course, you can go back to field goal block. But what you're going to notice is that you won't be able to rely on that, really, when they're in no huddle and such. This is probably a run, so I probably should not be. Just kidding. That's what I don't know. Because negative yards are such a big deal, you really, to me, I feel like you might give up 1 or 2 big plays especially against mobile guys. That field goal block, I feel like you can use it, but you also need to have another sort of thing up your sleeve, and I think mid blitz is that other thing. You should be running mid blitz in the fourth mostly, and in situations when you really maybe they just got a huge, they have a ton of yards and you're trying to make them lose yards. And now I know I'm going to pass commit here. I'm going to hover, and I'm going to see if we can scream. Just so easy. They even blocked 6 there. And now guess what? They just all that yards they just lost it all. So what they got, they're going to get a few yards out. We got 3 sacks. We're getting stockpiling that yardage. That yards allowed is going down. And the less yards you can allow, the better score you're going to get. That is 100% fact. That's what I've noticed to be the difference between 25-5 and over 26. You got to make sure those yards allowed stay down. And I think mid blitz can really help you there. So this guy comes down. We're going to see if we can break this here. I don't know if we can. This doesn't really look like a great run to be able to work there. When you're facing a 93 overall squad, it's going to be really tough to run. But I still think we can make it work. Let's see. These guys are so fast that it might not work. But, oh man, is he going to... I thought he was going to come... Didn't juke him out. Man, the CPU is beating us. Beating us so tough. They're playing tough. But yeah, so if you have a good O-line like myself and you're facing a 79, 80 overall team, it doesn't really matter if you keep it with your wide receiver or running back, whoever you have in the backfield, or you hand it off, you're going to score a touchdown pretty much every time. Those bad teams are just bad. So you can just do whatever you want. But if you're facing a good team, maybe handing it off and you get some good blocking, and you go ahead, we'll spin and we'll break. Oh, that's so tough. Again, you only need about 200 yards rushing, and you're going to get the ball back so quickly. So even when you're facing these God squads, you're getting the ball back. You're going to be able to just keep doing it. We break it out there, and I don't know why. This maybe it's just because they're better players. I can't juke them out or spin them out. They're really struggling here. But you're going to find you're going to have so many possessions that you really don't need to worry about, oh, man, it took me 5 runs to get a touchdown. Yeah, it might happen. But if you keep just sticking to it, get those yardage, stockpile them, we might be gone there. Nope. They're playing really tough. My guys are also probably a little tired, which doesn't help. But yeah, you're going to find that these are going to be really, really easy to stockpile those yardage. And I thought that guy wasn't going to block him. We'll go ahead and spin there because the spin's glitchy. And you see how tired Christian McCaffrey is. But I do get out of bounds. So yeah, 6 for 75. That's not terrible. Remember, I have not even really been trying. And this is a great team that I'm facing in 93 overall. And we're still stockpiling those rushing and those completions we got. So I'll show you the box scores. There's not much else to talk about there. I think I pretty much nailed everything. You got the field goal block. I just want to go over that real quick. Come out and field goal block right or left, and then they're going to audible, and then you audible. Click the left stick over and go to punt, safe man. They'll go over and man up. User, I like to user one of the guys that are being double teamed. If you can wait, the longer you can wait, the better, but make sure you don't forget to audible, because if you do, they're going to burn you. So you just got to make sure you audible. You click left, and then you audible to punt. Make sure your guys should go outside and cover them. So that's important. And when you get to the fourth quarter or they're no huddling, it's not going to work. So you're going to have to switch your defense. So, sorry, my nose is hovering a little bit. But you're going to have to switch your defense. So just keep that in mind. But that is what people are running. Defense, I still like mid-blitz. Hover over the center if you use a safety. It's still really, really good. You're going to get a lot of sacks. If you have a good team, that's going to be even better. But hopefully this helps with the Wildcat. If you're struggling, try hitting off to the running back. It just takes some practice. I felt like 6 for 75 with my guy against a 93 overall team is pretty good. I think that's plenty good enough to get your 200 yards rushing. One last thing, again, I don't know if I showed any box scores yet. I'll show you those where, what the 26Ks look like. And then just make sure you separate your rushing and passing. I like to get about 4 touchdowns each, passing and 4 touchdowns, and 4 on passing and 4 on rushing. And one thing I didn't do, and I'm going to go ahead and dive back into the game real quick, is even though this is this is completely out of order, we're going to go ahead and score a touchdown and show you a little gift that I have in the Christmas spirit. We're going to go ahead and show you a 100% way to score a 2-point conversion every single time. We'll just go out of bounds here. Was that Cohen? Nice. That's the rising star, Tariq Cohen. Come on. I actually had the present for the better one, but I couldn't keep him. He was like 180K. I'm like, nah, 170, 180. I couldn't do it. So we'll go ahead and score this touchdown and show you the little gift at the end on how to always get a 2-point. There's a couple ways to do it. So we got the touchdown. So there's 2 ways. The easiest way, the thing that I have yet to miss on, I personally, there's a lot of ways you can score too, but if you're in the Vikings playbook, run the Wildcat just like you're doing and hand it off to the guy who comes across. So you run the power, but just hand it off. Break it to the outside. I have yet to miss one. So that would work. But if you're like, I'm too lazy to do this, another great way to do it, run a 3 wide receiver, 1 tight, I think it's just 3 wide receivers or less, a tight end and a running back. I'll run gun tray, the same one with levels in it. Come out in a run. They will come out and goal line, audible to levels or whatever, and then just throw the slant. I'll move Sharp out of the way just so it makes it more room, and then we're going to hit B here, and it will be open pretty much every time. Sometimes they'll get jammed a little bit, but I have yet to miss it when they got jammed. Just throw it after they get off the jam, and they'll get it. So have a good wide receiver there, and you'll get an easy 2-point conversion. The easiest way is, or the best way is just to run Wildcat. So hopefully that was all the information. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, if you want to share it, down below, but that's everything. That's how you get top 25, or top 100, or even top 10, or wherever you are. I personally still am a mid-blitz believer. I still think it's really good just because of how many sacks you get. I think that those yards allowed is really, really important. So just make sure you also are getting if you're wondering why you're not doing as well, maybe the yards allowed is wise. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was informative, helpful, and I don't know about entertaining, perhaps a little bit. So thank you guys so much. Go Texans. Like if you haven't already, that is appreciated. And that's all I got. All right? Wonderful Christmas, I hope. All right? Merry Christmas. If you're watching this later on, I hope you had a good Christmas, good holiday. Thank you guys so much. That's all I got. ChewbaccaLemma.